Willie D. Live.
Congratulations on how many years now for the Black Male Summit?
16 years now.
16 years now. What's the typical, first of all, for those who don't know, what is the work that you do, and what is the typical kid that comes into your program?
So the work that Will is speaking of is the work of Black male development. Myself and those who work with me, we work with what they call underprivileged and at-risk youth. Really, the ones we work with are not necessarily just at risk, they're high risk. When they're high risk, that means that they're high risk for violence, meaning at any moment they could shoot somebody or get shot. So these are the young brothers that we work with to try to steer them, in a better direction. But the typical young man that comes to us, first of all, he's fatherless in that his dad is not in his life. Either he doesn't know who his father is, his father may be incarcerated, or his father just is not active at all. So they come to us with a longing to have a strong male figure to help to guide them in the right direction.
And is this all voluntary?
Yes, it's all voluntary.
No, I'm talking about the kids. Do they volunteer to come into the program?
Well, their parents bring them.
Okay.
Now, we have a program where judges will send them to us as well. But for the most part, most of them are volunteers. Now, the first time you bring them, the first time the single mother wakes them up and say, listen, you going to this youth mentorship session, you got to go. Well, they walk in like they don't want to be there. But all it takes is one time. But myself and the brothers who work with me, once they feel our spirit and they start to feel at home, they'll start waking the mama up. Next week, they're going to wake mama up and say, Mama, we late. Because they realize there's something that's in their nature that's being ignored and not being fed. And when they feel that being fed, not only do they want to come around, they want to stay all day. And it gets to a point to where it's just not enough for us. So when people tell me that these young brothers don't want guidance, that's not true. That's not true. Most of them do, but there's just not enough of us who, number one, are willing to take the time out with them to give them what they need. Or there are those who will take the time, but they don't have the skill set. You see, you can't approach a 13-year-old nowadays the way you approached a 13-year-old 30 years ago. It's different. The 13-year-old nowadays, he want respect just like you want respect. So if you walk up on him and start fussing at him like this is scared straight, you're not going to get to him like that. The key is to build a relationship with him. And if you can get him to talk to you, and that's a hard thing for some of us, because we like to hear ourselves talk. But if I have a mentorship session with a 14-year-old and I do 90% of the talking and only 10% of the listening, then I failed. If he does 90% of the talking and I listen, then I have a better chance of helping him, because if you can get him to talk to you, he'll tell you how to help him. So the average one that comes to me, fatherless, lives in a single parent household. Most of them come from households where there's not much income, so they don't have a lot. But the average one that comes to me is highly intelligent. Very, very, very smart. But he's failing in school. And because he's failing in school, he's being branded that like something's wrong with him. And they're trying to put him on some kind of medication. There's nothing wrong with this boy.
I put him in special ed.
Yeah, he bored. What you're teaching him is outdated. He's mastered his little devices at home, and you're still trying to get him to read Mary Had a Little Lamb. Then he goes to school. A young black boy going into a public school. only 1% of the teachers in America are black male. 1%. So that means as a young black boy, I'm going to school and I don't see nobody that look like me. I don't see no strength in this place. So guess what? Since I don't see no strength, I'm going to become the strength. Right. Then he starts acting out. And before you know it, they done put a jacket on him. He's getting in trouble. But parents have to understand that a report card is not an indication of how smart your child is. It's an indication of how focused or not focused they are, but it's also an indication that the curriculum that they're studying from was not created to empower your child as a black child. And this is why we have to push and promote black children being taught by black teachers. Many studies have been done that say that black children fare better under black teachers. Why? Because students, they always perform better when they have teachers that expect a lot out of them. You send your black child to school and they got a non-black teacher. What if that teacher sees, your child as less than the other children? Well, that teacher not going to expect a lot out of your child. And because the expectation is not there, he's not going to rise to the level of his full potential. But if he's got a black teacher that look like his Aunt Gail, and that little black boy look just like her nephew, you remind me of my nephew, she's going to expect more from him. At least she should. And the more you expect, the more that child will give you, especially if you're there to teach the child with sincerity. So our young boys have a difficult time in public schools. So this is why we have to have Saturday schools where we compensate for what they're not learning in these public schools. And that way, God willing, they can grow up to reach their full potential. But what we doing right now ain't working. The state is failing our children. And it's time for the village to take over. Right here in Houston Independent School District, they just closed down 12 schools. How many prisons did they close down?
0. They're not closing down any prisons, buddy.